welcome to today's stream. Prematura has been a member for 51 months. Let's get you a membership dance for that. Boop, 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 doop, boop, 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 doop, boop, boop, boop. Woohoo! Boop, doop, doop, boop, boop, doop. Woohoo! Doop, doop, boop, boop, doop. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you so much for your continued support. 51 is a lot of months. It's also one of those numbers that looks kind of prime, even though it's also very divisible by 3. More divisible by 3 than at least most primes are. All right, let's see. So today we have puzzles from the setting challenge I did where I asked people to make some sort of Minesweeper-inspired puzzle. Interestingly, I didn't get a whole lot of submissions for this one, so I think we'll probably be able to do them today. Let's have a look at this. Let's see, probably on a dashed grid because I at first thought this was a Sudoku-sized grid, but then I realized it's a 10 by 10 and it says fillomino. So let's see, so we have normal fillomino rules apply, so we need to divide the grid into ominoes. Each cell contains the size. Regions of the same size can't share an edge. And a circled number indicates that precisely x of the up to 8 neighboring cells are equal to x. All possible circles are given. Okay, so x of the up to x neighbor. Okay, so it doesn't count itself. So if this were a 1, for example, it would make that a 1. If this were a 2, it would already break. So this can be 1. It can't be 2. Because if this were a 2, I would need one of these to be 2 to finish the 2, but then I need a second one to be 2. That's not going to work. And 3 would break immediately because they have a size 3/4. So this can only actually be a 1 with a 1 here, if I understand things. So let's get the 1 dance from Zach. Boop a doop a doop. Woo! Ba doop boop boop. Woo! Ba doop boop boop. Woo! Ba doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo. Waha! Thank you, Zach. Welcome, M. Nasty. Great to see you. Damo, I saw I have one puzzle from you in here. Luna, D-Web, Ambrose, Tristan. Let's see. Okay, so we can put some proper shame on these ominoes. As they deserve for being monominos. Oops. I also don't think we're going to be able to put an 8 in a circle very well. So these two circles, they both need to be at least 2. However, they're at most 4, just naively, because they each only... Oh, sorry, they're at most actually even 3, right? They're at most 3 even, sorry. But I don't think 3 actually 3 does work. There's got to be a 1 in one of these cells, by the way. I have to keep in mind because the oh, sorry, this cell isn't circled. I somehow in my head thought this cell was circled. It's not circled. But yeah, the all circles are given means there's more than 1 around this. So like one of these cells, and it's not that one, of course, because this sort of goes over like this. At the very least, so one of these two is a 1. We can corner mark it. Oh, it's not that one, actually. We even know which one is... we actually even know which one's a 1, because it can't be this one. Because if that were a 1, it would make that a 1 as well. So actually, this is also a 1. Is this going to chain down the whole grid? I don't think so, because I think this could still be a 1. This is going to form like a wall all the way down the grid, like sort of Hayawake style, but that's okay. Whatever this is, this cell's also got to be yellow, though, right? Yeah, because the whatever this is, it needs a yellow cell. So if it's 2, then this cell is also 2. If this is a 3, then actually this cell's also 3. So this is also 2 or 3. Oh yeah, until it hits another circle is a good point. Because once it hits another circle, then... Okay, so I think the problem is this can't be 2 because of the all circles are given statement. Because if this was 2, then these would both be 2 like this, except then this one should also be circled, and it's not. So I think this has to be 3. Which we all know means it's red. This 3 is also red. And now, by virtue of this being circled, that also has to be 3. And by virtue of this not being circled, this can't also be 3. So we get some 3s over here and some 3s here. Great break in there. Great start to all of our fun things. Okay, well, that's not a 3. For what it's worth. Oh, I probably should think again about where this 1 goes. Because there's this... Or, sorry, where the extra 1 goes. Because it can't go there again. So now one of these 2 is a 1. I don't think it's so clear which of them is a 1, though. At least it's not immediately clear to me which one is a 1. Also, by the way, I should mention, over on our supporter channel, we have started our next supporter series. So the previous supporter series was Sudokuvania 1. Sudokuvania 2 is currently going on the main channel, but on the, or not main channel, the main feed, whatever. The supporter channel now gets, the next series is Can of Wormholes. So if you want to watch me play Can of Wormholes and have my brain absolutely turned inside out, that is a good place to go. It is a game where I particularly admire the hint system that they have chosen. So I guess if this were to be 1, just looking one step further ahead of it, if this is 1, then it would need another 1, and that 1 could only go here. Oh yeah, this is circled. Maybe I should be looking at the cells that are circled instead of the cells that aren't circled. That's probably a good idea. Okay, so this is not a 3, and therefore it is at most a 3. So it's a 1 or a 2. I don't even think it can be 2 even, can it? Because if this is a 2... Oh, it could be a 2 if it, like, looks something like that, right? I think it can just get away with being a 2. But in any event, this is never connecting here. Because if this is a 2 and it grows, it still can't grow this way. So we always have a wall here. Okay. If this was a 1, that breaks fillomino in a funny way, because if this were a 1, then we get a 1 there, and we end up with an additional 1 here touching some 1. So actually this has to be a 2. And so the other 2 it sees is here, which must also be there. Okay, and so this 2 needs to see a third 2, which needs to be there exactly. So It's funny, I saw this, and so I thought it couldn't possibly be a 2, because it seemed like this couldn't possibly work. But apparently it works. So this is, oh no, this is a 1 or a 3. 1 just is not going to work, though, right? So if this were a 1, so a 1, that would be a 1. Not quite sure. Okay, whatever this is, though, it grows. And so, in particular, it places the 1 over here. So this is my 1 of shame. And now this one places another 1, and that 1 can't go there as previously noted, so this is a 1. Okay, and again, we can sort of grade this in. So this number is at least 3. Probably is a 3 now, honestly. 3 seems to work oddly well. This 1, by virtue of not being circled, puts another 1 around, and again, that 1 is going in one of 2 places, which are here and here. This circle can't be a 3 because of this cell. Oh, I see AFK was suggesting the same thing. If this circle's definitely not a 3. And so this can't see one more 3, which it would if this were a 3. So this is, in fact, now at least a 4. However, it can't possibly be more than 4 just by counting. So this is a 4. And we can actually come back over and mark which 4 cells it does. It is nice when you've completely forgotten everything about your own puzzles, because usually you like your own puzzles, in my experience. Okay, these 2 are the same, but I don't know if it's the 4. It could be the 4. Oh, this 4 also needs 4. I didn't see that clue at first. So, of course, those aren't 4. So this needs 2 more 4s. Yeah, this needs 2 more 4s, which are actually placed, right? It's there and there are both 4. This, of course, is not 4. Maybe these 4s don't actually join, I'm not sure. This 4 also needs to see 2 more 4s. Ah, okay. And this 4 can't see those 2 4s here. This can't be a 4, because if this were a 4, the 4 would already see 4 more 4s, except it would definitely see the other 4. So this isn't a 4, and so now the 4 4s that this sees have to be in these cells. And therefore, this is a 2. And now this is a 1. From previous work, we know that cell's not a 4. Let's see. Okay, so this 4 sees 3 4s. It needs to see a 4th 4, and the 4th 4 can only possibly be here. We know this one doesn't go up. Yes, this is quite lovely. What a weird rule set. Okay, well, this one can't be 1, 2, or sorry, this one can only possibly be 1, 2, or 3. 2, I think, doesn't work at all. I think we've actually argued that previously, because now this is basically a corner. It's basically the break-in again, where 3 doesn't work because it would, of course, make a 4 size 3, and 2 doesn't work because I don't have a second place to put a 2. So this is just always a 1. Which then puts a 1 here. And now that 1 is again going to need to place another 1, and the only place it can go is here, actually, because this 1 needs a second 1 in order to not be circled, and that 1 has to go in one of these 3 spots, but these 2 would both make an extra 1. Okay, this grows, that grows. That's a good way to put it, AFK. That no circle can fulfill itself. Okay, and so there are no additional 1s around here. These are all at least not 1. Seems hard for these to avoid connecting, but I don't think I can prove that they do. Oh, actually, maybe they don't. I'm not sure. So if this is a 1, certainly that's a 1. If this is a 3, I don't 100% understand the point. Okay, yeah, these 2 are always the same, right? Okay, that's the way to think about it. Yeah, if this is a 3, now these are both 3s. Yeah, so this is a 1 or a 3. It's the same as that 1, 3, so therefore this 2 grows this way. Well articulated. I had not sort of processed it in those terms yet. Okay, now this could be the one that this sees. One of these 2 is the one that this sees. Circle can only be 1 because if these are both 3, yeah, if these are both 3, no, then that 3's circled like it should be. Oh, but this 3 would now need that to be a 3? I don't quite understand yet. This is a 1 or a 3 for sure. It just doesn't have room to be as large as a 5. Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it, Chef of Death. If this is a 3, then immediately it grows this way, and it's never going to see its its fellow omino because there are no additional places a 3 can go. So this is a 1. Okay, now it's being claimed this can't be 1, so if these were both 1, then the only way this 3 works is for all 3 of these to be 3, and that definitely doesn't work. So these are both 3 instead. Okay, this needs to be a 3 as well in order for that 3 circle to be happy, which of course makes this a 3 as well. And now this can't be a 3 as well, or this 3 would need a circle. So actually, we more or less got to repeat the break-in verbatim there. How upset were you about having to have this given 3 on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, so this is not a 3, and it can't possibly be as high as a 4. So this is only possibly a 1 or a 2. If it's a 1, it would make that a 1. Yeah, I'd say, like, in general, you should never have a given digit on a clue unless that's the break-in. But when your puzzle has a negative constraint, you suddenly lose the ability to avoid putting given digits on clues. Yes, yes, yes. This can't be a 2 because of the negative constraint on this this circle, or this lack of circle, right? So this has to be a 1. Very good observation to Chef of Death. And now this one needs to see a 1. So that's a 1. My row labels are slightly cut off. Let's see if I can adjust that. Is that better? Okay, so these both grow automatically. I see, I see. That makes sense. Okay, well, this is a 2 or a 4, I think. I think those are the options. And regardless of which one it is, this is the same 2 or 4. Oh, yeah, we should have, Todd points out, we should have immediately asked about this 1, because we have this whole, like, weird Heawake 1 situation going on. This 1 needs to touch another 1, so it's there. And then this one needs to touch another 1. And I suspect it being there breaks horribly. Maybe it doesn't, actually. Two breaks the negative constraint. I don't see that. Oh, yeah, it does. It does because of this cell, right? I see it now. Yeah, this, if these are both 2s, then this 2 should be circled, is AFK's point. So they're not both 2s, they're both 4s. Now this one certainly isn't a 1 because... Oh, no, actually, no, maybe it's fine if the 4s go there and there. Okay, and that makes these both pink for that 4. This 4 isn't circled, but it's thankfully impossible for it to be circled. Yeah, this can't be the one. I was thinking it was okay if this is the one. It's not, because it would violate the negative constraint. If this is the one, we need to have the 4 sort of fill in here. That would be another 1. That's all fine, except this is a 1 that violates the negative constraint. So the 1 is in one of these spots over here. So that gives us an alternate proof that this digit isn't a 1. This digit, I don't think this can possibly be as high as 3, can it? Because this definitely is not a 4. If it were a 4, all of these would be 4s, and that doesn't work. But even 3 feels like it's going to extend one way or the other. Oh no, the 3 works like this exactly, with the 4 sort of sliding in along the side. So this is 2 or 3. Checkerboard deductions really are the deduction that just keeps on giving. Oh, ooh, that's super slick, Ambrose. If this is a 4, it would need a circle, because the other places for the 4 to go would be one of these two, both of which would be seen by this, and there's no way I could cram 2 extras. Very good. So therefore, this is a 4 as well. This thing, whatever it is, grows, and therefore we can finish our 4 over here. Okay, so funnily enough, this can't be a 2, because if this is a 2, it makes this a 3 that's plainly impossible. So in fact, this is just all a 3, which makes that also a 3 by previous work. Did you write a computer program to double check that your negative constraint was correct, AFK? That seems like a sort of thing that you would be likely to do. Okay, this 3 needing 3 is also interesting, because that means, again, remember to use AFK's language, this 3 needs to touch a different 3. Oh, it already touches a different 3. Never mind, sorry. So yeah, as long as this 3 sort of finishes like this or something, then it's fine. As long as this 3 finishes in some way that keeps itself happy, that's all okay. Ooh, I would be very happy if ChatGPT could do that kind of thing for me. When I've tried to do anything puzzle related with ChatGPT, it's been horrendous, but I haven't tried in a little bit. But like, these are the rules of yin yang. Give me an example of a 4x4 yin yang puzzle. Did not work with ChatGPT last time I tried it. Let's see. Although for what it's worth, the first image it generated when I asked for an example of a yin yang puzzle was a jigsaw puzzle with a yin yang in it, which was somehow even worse. I believe that, but I find it weird. Like, isn't it already a program? Why do I need to get it to write a program? But maybe it just has a lot more experience looking at programs, something like that. Okay. What about you? Uh, Annoyingly, I think this could be a 1 with that being a 1. Uh, Maybe that's where we need to use Josh's loop point about the 1s to rule that out. Uh, hmm. Oh, maybe I need to think about this 4, actually, that is in a circle that I never noticed was in a circle. Because that's definitely not a 4. I guess it needs 2 of these 4 to be 4s. I think this has to be a 4. I think if this isn't a 4, then this 4... Oh no, if that isn't a 4, then both of these are 4s, and that's fine. Never mind, that's okay. Uh, so there's probably something in here where I can say, that has to be a 4, but I don't know which one it is. Uh, well, it can't be this big in terms of the question of how big the 1 loop has to be, because this string of 1s needs to eventually sort of terminate somehow, and the only way for that to actually happen is for me to eventually end up doing something like that. But it can't even be that size, actually. It has to be even larger than that. It would have to have like a 5 in the middle or something, something like that. Like, it would be very natural for it to actually be exactly there. But I don't think I can prove it has to be exactly there. Oh, that's not a bad idea at all. So let's checkerboard the things that could connect to this 1. Let's mark them in green. That certainly can't be. That could be. I think that's all the cells that could possibly be part of this loop of 1s. And notably, I can't do this. Because it breaks the 3. Oh, no, it doesn't necessarily... Oh, no, it does break the 3. Yeah, it does. Absolutely breaks the 3. So yeah, I think we've got a couple options for where this loop could be. And it could be longer. Like, it could be like... it could be this loop, for example. I think is also possible. Oh, right. I can't, the loop can't actually somehow, can't use this connection, however I want to phrase that. Sorry, can't use all three of these, because that breaks the three, as previously noted. Uh, uh, so yeah, I need a loop that doesn't use all three of these, and so it just has to be all of these. Because I can't use all three of these, and I'm just very limited to what my diagonal loop looks like. I agree, that is quite cool. So those are all ones. And these are fives. Which makes these fives as well. Which makes these also be fives, of course. That's not a five. There we go. And I've got a bunch of stuff there to order in. Okay, well, this is definitely the five, because this five has to grow. Oh, I didn't finish bordering this in. Doop, doop, doop. This is definitely a five, because this five has to grow large enough. And as soon as that's also a five, this just has to be a five because it can't be a one. So we get another five there. So this five already sees its five, basically. So one of these isn't a five. It's not so helpful. Trying to see if there's some sort of negative constraint somewhere. I don't think there is. This 4 now can only grow 1 in this direction because of that 4, so it always grows this way. So this 4 yeah, this can't be a 4 anymore. So the 4 4s that this 4 sees have to be these 4. Because if this is a 4, now we've got to somehow make a 4 fit in a space that can't possibly fit. So this is the 4 for this one. Okay, that seems to make this a 3. This cell is part of the 5 because otherwise it can't, the 5 can't finish. Let's see. This digit is 2 or 3. That seems like a good place to look. This digit, though, is not able to be a 2. And so, by virtue of this digit not being able to be a 2, it needs to be at least 3, which means it's the same as this digit, which means they are, in fact, both 3. Which means this isn't a 3, which actually makes this the 3. Okay, this isn't a 3 either. I mean, I guess it's the same thing I was just saying wasn't a 3. So now, in order to connect to this loop, this cell has to be a 1. So we can do that. So this can be a 3, and it has to be because it grows into the 3. This can't be a 1 because it would be circled. Let's see. I mean, I guess I must be able to solve this down here. So this has got to be a 2, a 4. It can't even be as large as 5. So this is always a 2 or a 4. And 2 breaks horribly in the traditional fillomino way. Because if this is a 2, and I get a domino here, and I have a domino next to it, that the only way I could fix would be to subdivide it into 2 1s, but that also breaks. So this is always a 4 in the only fillomino logic that exists. So we've got that. This can't be a 1 because, again, it would break the negative constraint, so it's a 4. Which now means that this does have to be the 5, which means that this back here is another 1. I guess I never wrote in 5s in these cells. Okay. This 3 tells me that isn't a 3. So this is a 2 or a 4, or it can, no, it can't be a 5. If this were as large as 5, but it could be a 6. Could be a 6, funnily enough. Oh yeah, this being 5 would break the negative constraint, is the point. Josh says. Because if this is a 5, then actually it will be forced into that shape and it will break the negative constraint. So in fact, this is a 2. What? What did I say that was wrong? Won't it? No, because then this would be a 1, touching a 1. I was right for once. So these are 5s. And now we don't have to worry about the ugly 6 thing. That we're worried about. And 2 is assuredly not going to work now. So this just has to be a 4. Voila! That was lovely, actually. Sorry, let me heart to that. That was absolutely lovely. Very cool idea there. Beautifully forcing. You did a great use of the negative constraint. Was used literally everywhere, which is what I like to see in any puzzle that has a negative constraint. The worst negative constraint puzzles are the ones where it like shows up like right at the end in some point after you've forgotten it's there and it's used for like 2 steps. But this, it was used integrally even from the very break-in, and was very cool throughout. And this idea of the little loop of 1s is very cool. All right, I'm going to take a quick stretch. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We have here a puzzle from Chef of Death, also in chat. Hello. So we have Killer. However, we have a null loop in the grid, which goes through some cells and makes it so that those cells count as 0. Now, we don't have any, like, the loop can't touch itself stuff. But then we also have these sweeper clues, which count how many of the up to 8 cells that they see are on the loop. Now, this cage summing to 3 makes me think that all 3 of these are on the loop, and that this is a 3. But I think technically it could also be like a 2 and 1. This cell's definitely on the loop, for what it's worth. Because if this cell were off the loop, all of these would be off the loop. Now, is it possible that neither of these are on the loop? So, like, is it possible? I guess we could have the loop go something like that. Oh, but we have 2 5s, actually. So that's actually kind of interesting with the way that has worked. This cell's also definitely on the loop, by the way, because this number certainly, I mean, even with no thought, these numbers are a 1, 2, 3. And so assuredly, there's at least one cell on the loop, and if that cell is on the loop or that cell is on the loop, then this is also on the loop. And if neither of those is on the loop, then this is on the loop. Now, this one's definitely not a 1, because were it to be a 1, then we would have to be adding 3 digits to get to 3, which is a problem. Yeah, Josh has the point, I think, which is that we have 2 5s, and now those 2 5s are both either 5 or 1 4. So one of them is 5 and one of them is 1 4. Those are just the only 2 ways to make them. So we've got these very bizarre corner marks of 5 and 1 4 over here. So therefore, this can't be a 2 because it would require the 1, and we know the 1 is over here somewhere. So we actually do know that this is a 3. And we can bring out Zach for the 3 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop, woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wee! Ba-doop-ba-doop, ba-doop-ba-doop, wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Yes, I really like the way that was used with the 5s interacting with this. So that gives us that our loop does those things. It certainly can't take this cell, because then this cage would sum to 0, and 0 and 5 are different numbers. In fact, that digit just is a 5. And in fact, actually now, oops, that wasn't good. These are now a 1, 4, so those are also not on the loop. So our loop, we know, continues out this side. Like that. So now our 6 has to be a single 6. So 2 of the cells in the 6 are on the loop. Because 1 and 4 kill both ways to do they kill the way to do a 3-cell sum, and they kill both ways to do a 2-cell sum. So there's an actual 6 in here. And since if this cell is on the loop, this cell's automatically on the loop, that means this cell's always on the loop. Just by virtue of this being a corner. Not sure I quite see more to do with that just yet, but I'm sure we will get there in time. Can probably have a nice red background on the cells that have been zeroed. Oh yeah, the 6 mark definitely doesn't go there. I agree, though. I guess I don't really need the red circles if I've got the red coloring, huh? Oh, this loop comes down one more step. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, this digit is at least 4, and it's certainly not a 5 or a 6. So yeah, so I can't make any of these loop cells is the point. Because if either of these is a loop cell, then this would be a 5 or a 6. Very nice. So my loop continues over down here. And that does indeed place the 6. Beautiful setting, beautiful setting. This is a corner. So that is there. This is now known to be a 4, as previously noted. This now has to be at least a 7, because it's at least a 5, and it's not a 5 or a 6, and 7 is the maximum it can be. So this is a 7. Certainly forces that. I don't think these have to connect, but certainly that means that this isn't on the loop, and so these aren't on the loop. Oh, this is not on the loop, because if it was, I'd have to make a 10 in one cell. This isn't on the loop. So this is a 3, just by virtue of these sorts of things. So there's a 1 in here somewhere, by virtue of how this works. One of these is a 3. We would like to do math on this cell. I see. So now that means that this 7 cage needs to have 2 digits in it. Very nice. Yeah, this isn't 3, 4, or 1, 6. Very good point, because 1, 6 and 3, 4 are both ruled out of this cell. So this has to be 2, 5. The 6 in this box does not go in here, because 6 would go with 3. So the 6 in this box is horizontal in one of these 2 cells. This digit can't be a 1, because if this is a 1, it would mean at most... Oh, no, sorry, there could be... No, I think this digit can't be a 1. If it were 1, it would force this 10 cage to be a 2 or 3 cell sum. But if this is a 1, I can at most rule out this cell and one of these 2. Or sorry, one of these 3. But I can't rule out only one of any of those 3. And I can't make it a 3 cell sum because it would be 2, 3, 5. And that doesn't work. So this isn't a 1 and it's not a 2. So this is a 3 or a 4 only. Yeah, this is a 1, 4, 5. That's the only available option for summing to 9 that is left. Given that we're not doing 3, 6, 2, 7, or 1, 8. Yep. So that is a 2 and a 5 and a 1 and a 5 and a 4 and a 3. 6, 7, 8, 9 left in the row. What's left in this row? 6, 8, 9. That one's not a 6. Okay, so the 3 digits that are highlighted out of these 4 are not these 3, because that would force me to do 10 and 1. So this is always on the loop. And therefore, we always get that those 2 are also on the loop because it's a corner. And now this one can't be on the loop, because if it was, then... oh, right, sorry, you're right, sorry. 3 is in the cage, sorry, you're right. In my head, the cage was these 4 cells. This just can't be on the loop, because if it is, then at minimum we get these on the loop. And that's a problem, because I still need 1 more digit on the loop. Wait, sorry, no, I think I'd made exactly the same mistake again, didn't I? I made exactly the same mistake again of not counting the circle towards the cage. There are 2 6 8 9s in here. I certainly count at most 1 of them, but that's fine. Yeah, this is always on the loop, because if this isn't on the loop, then it makes that not on the loop, and then the 3 is wrong. This doesn't have to be on the loop, because the loop is allowed to touch itself. Oh, although that would break the 15 cage. Yeah, so if I don't put this on the loop, then this actually forces this loop back here like that, and now the 15 cage only has 1 cell in it that counts. So yeah, so I do agree with this, the loop having to connect back this way. And what I actually proved is the loop connects that way. Not that these are both in the loop. Yes, there we go. That's a good point from Todd. This cell's not on the loop, because if this cell was on the loop, then that digit would be a 7. And therefore this digit is on the loop, and then the loop comes up like this at least. And this digit is a 7. So that isn't. Oh, sorry, I extended that too far. Sorry, that was cheating. It was only up to here. This digit's still a 7. I was thinking that this was between 2 things, because I was used to thinking that I already had these connected, but I don't have those connected. Oh, yes, this 3 circle is done, so this is not loop by counting. So therefore, the loop continues over to here. This number now is at least a 4. It's a 4 or a 6 only. Oh, and it's not even 6 because there's a 6 looking at it from across the room. Very good. So this cell's not on the loop. For sure, because of if it was, it would put more cells on the loop. Four, 6, 7 is too big. 4, 6, 7 is 17, not 15. So this needs to be nullified. So we get all of that. This can't be a 7, so it has to be a 6. Because it's currently at 6. Oh, actually, sorry, this could be an 8. Sorry, normally you can't have an 8, but you could have an 8 here. So this is 6 or 8. Because this could, the loop could just... Oh, no, sorry, the loop can't actually come to this cell now. Because it would break the 4. If the loop comes to this cell, this is a corner. So what I said was actually ultimately proved correct. So this is the 6. So it can't be a 7. Okay, so this is a 6. Like that. Okay, I need a third cell in my sum to 18, or I'm going to have problems. So we can come up and make those both red. This digit is a 5 by making the 15 cage sum to 15. These two sum to 12. That's about as useless as it's possible to be, I think. Oh, I guess maybe I should write in this row, and then maybe it'll be a little less useless. These are just 1, 2, 3. That one's not a 3, so one of these two is a 3. So this is... And so these two sum to 12, and so it has to be 3 and 9. Not as useless as originally thought. This is off the loop because otherwise it would be a dead end. Okay, it's only digits that are off the loop that can't repeat. So it's not the case. So I was going to argue that maybe it was possible to argue that these couldn't both be in, but I think they can. Yeah, this 4, okay, that completely stops me from having to make this argument. The 4 just actually sees the cell. So we get that going on. Which makes all of these red. This 14 needs 2 digits, so those are both in. Whatever, in, out, whatever you want. So now these have to connect, and so these connect down to not make a mini loop. This is 2, 3, 4, or 5. Oh yeah, the 14 cage is 5, 9. Correct. Let's see. Yeah, this is a 2. That's really horrible because if this is a 2, yeah, I was doing the thing again where I was arguing that, or I was not counting the circle digit. I don't know why my brain doesn't want circle digits to count towards cages. But anyway, if this was a 2, I would now have to make these 3. Sorry, I'd have to make these 4 digits sum to 8, and that's too many. So this is a 3. So one of these exactly is in. So it's not that one and it's not that one. One of them exactly is in the loop, I should say. So it's that one. We get our little corner piece like that. This one even connects up like that. These are 1 and 4, and we know the order. Why did I make this gray? How did I make that gray? When did I make it gray? Oh, I just made both of those gray when I meant to make them both red. That's what happened. I was like, why do I have gray on my loop? That doesn't sound good. Okay, these two sum to 14, and they need to be 6, 8 now. These, oh yeah, well, this is certainly, yeah, I need 3 cells to get to 19, so those are all gray. So this is just a 3. And now these two add to 16, and so there's 6, no, sorry, there's 7, 9. Gives us a bunch of digits down there at the bottom. This is certainly not on the loop anymore. Now this is a corner, and so we get all of this. So this is a 2. This can't connect up, or we'd have problems. So it connects down, which actually forces this to connect over like that. This 22 cage had better have at least 3 digits in it, and therefore these are gray, which forces this. And now our loop is done. So we get to do that. This has become a 1 and a 2. And let's see, what else do we have? These are 3 and 5, points out chat, because the 3 5s look at that. So that's the 5 and that's the 3. Oh, this is a circle, so I can count it, and it's a 5. So that's a 5 plus an 8 and a 9 in order to get to my appropriate total. And then I can probably hit mark. 8, 2, 3, 5, 4, 2. My belief that I could hit mark has been well justified. I really could have used the Sven button, couldn't I? Very lovely puzzle. Very nicely set there, Damo. I really enjoyed that one. Nice use of this. And I liked the use. I really don't, as a general rule, like the loop can't touch itself in 9x9. So I like that you didn't use that and you specifically allowed the loop to make these sorts of bends. I think that makes it a lot more enjoyable because there's a lot more flexibility. 9 by 9 is just too small for a loop that doesn't touch itself. So very well done to Chef of Death there. And we'll be back shortly in just a second. Who did I say? I didn't say Chef of Death. Sorry. Chef of Death. Very well done. Hello, welcome back. We have Damo's puzzle up next. So here we have normal Sudoku rules, and then we have a Dutch Whisper Minesweeper, which is a very cool idea. I have not seen anything quite like this before. A digit in an orange circle counts how many of the up to 8 surrounding cells contain a number that differs by at least 4 from the digit in the circle. Okay, so this is certainly a 1, 2, 3. This is certainly a 1, 2, 3. 3 here would make these 7, 8, 9 exactly, which doesn't work because these digits I should also fill in. These are at most 5. And so the point here is this number, if it's 3, well, those aren't far enough away. Even if this number is 2, these numbers aren't far enough away because neither of them could be larger than 5, and so this would have to be 2 numbers. So this has to be a 1, a common theme for today's puzzles. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that does mean one of these 2 digits is... Sorry, no. Neither of these can be 5. Let's point that out. Because if either of these is 5, well, what numbers are at least 4 away from 5? Well, there are not enough of them. So this number now, since neither of these numbers is at least 4 away from 1, this number definitely is. So this is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 only has 8 and 9 that are far enough away from it. So these are a 2, 3 pair. So every digit that is at least 4 away from 3, those being 7, 8, and 9, is contained in this W. So this digit's not a 7, 8, or 9, or a 1, 2, or 3. This is a 4, 5, or 6 only. 5 is going to be awfully hard because 5 only has 2 numbers. And so... I don't know, maybe I could just barely get to 5, 1, 9s around there. It would be very difficult. Oh yeah, the 3 is either these 3 or these 3. So this is definitely a 5 or a... Sorry, not a 5 or a 6. This definitely counts for the 3, Luna points out. This number's also, because of the row having a 1, 2, 3 triple, this number's also a 4, 5, 6. But we're going to run into similar problems. Like if this is a 5, I need 1 9s in all of these cells, and that's not going to work. Oh, 6 is just not even possible because of the fact that this circle doesn't count itself. Or if you like the circle does count itself, conveniently in this puzzle it won't change the number. So yeah, so this is a 4, and there's 4... 8 9s in these cells. So that makes these an 8, 9 pair. Beautiful, beautiful. And there's an 8 and a 9 in these cells. Well, this is not an 8 or a 9. I can all but assure you. So these are an 8, 9 pair as well. That makes this a 7 because these are an 8, 9 pair. That makes that the 3 and that the 2. And these are a 4, 5, 6 triple. And that is a 2. Okay, so that's very interesting because these numbers in particular can't be 7, 8, or 9. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of those, the only one that is far enough away from 2 is a 6. And I must have one that's far enough away from 2, which is a 6 here. Which means this one also has to be far enough away, and it just has to be a 7, because 6, 7, 8, and 9 are the only options, and there's an 8, 9 pair. In fact, I'm trying to decide how certain I am that this circle can't be an 8, and I might be a coward and not be sure enough that this isn't an 8 and not want to think about it. Let's see, there's a 5 or a 6 in here, and this... 5 and a 6 in here, and this can't be 5 or 6, right? There are not enough numbers far away enough from 6. There's only 1 and 2. So in fact, these are a 5-6 pair. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 7. Okay, so 1 is too small, so this must be a 3. And so indeed it does see the 7, 8, 9. These are 3, 8, 9 over here. This can't be 8 anymore because this is a 5, 6 now. Sorry, AFK. I have avoided having to think about it. So this is a 3. So we have 3, 7, 8, 9 sorts of numbers around this. That's one of them. We know that isn't, and that isn't. So unknown. This can't be a 6 anymore because none of those count towards it. 5 isn't possible either because I now know I get 1 9 in this row at most. I get 1 1 in this row at most, and I certainly get at most 2 1 9s in this row. So this is just a 4. This is a 5 because the row needs 5 and 6, and so we get a 5 and a 6 like that. This is a 1 or a 4, just for these purposes. Okay, this number is at least a 3, but certainly not larger than 5, but it can't again be a 5 because I can't get 5 1 9s in here. 4 would require me to get, would require these to both be an 8 9 pair, which certainly doesn't work for uniqueness reasons, but I'm not going to use that. Oh yeah, there's this 4 requires let me mark I'm gonna use blue. There's an 8 and a 9 in blue, and therefore these digits are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 5, 6. Okay, so this 3 can get 1 7 from here, 1 7 from here, and 1 8 9, so it needs all of them. And so, fortunately, we don't have to do many marking. Very good spotting to AFK there on that. Also, this puzzle is beautifully set. I respect your desire to have this de-blued. Oh, actually, sorry, you're right. I can not even bother bluing anymore if I just mark that these are now an 8 9 pair because of the 8 9 here sitting there. Okay, that is I can do it. I was like, I wanted it in one contiguous blue just to remind me what on earth it was the blue was saying, but then it turned out that these are just an 8 9 pair, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. There's like a 5 over down here somewhere. This can't be a 4 anymore because remember, this could only be a 4 if these were an 8 9 pair, and that's no longer possible. So this is a 3. Okay, so we're counting 7 8 9s in these. We get 3 7 8 9s. We know we're getting at most 1 7 8 9 in these cells. And therefore, these both have to be 7 8 9s. I don't know how useful that is, but it's true. And there's a 7, 8, 9 in these two cells. So these aren't 7, 8, 9 either. So these are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that one's not a 5 or a 6. Let's see. AFK would like to bi-value color 8 9s, which I accept as a thing that might be reasonable to do here. Oh, 7 in box 5 is one of these two, so that's actually very helpful. Okay, now the bi-value coloring is looking very, very good. Because now this is the circly 8 9 in this box. Oops, I thought I typed 8 9. Okay, so this digit could be 2, 3, 4, 5, not 5, 6, 7, and 8 would require that all of these be from 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that possibly true? No, there aren't enough 1, 2, 3, 4s to stack in these cells because there's 2 1, 2, 3, 4s already spent. This can again be 2 or 4, but not 5, 6, 7. And again, I have to ask if it can possibly be 8. Annoyingly, this one I think probably is 8. Because it looks to me like all of these can be 1, 2, 3, 4. The circle 8, 9 is here by Circle Doku. This one's not as restricted. It's certainly not 8, 6, or 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not 5, because that would require I put 5 1 9s in 2 houses. That's not going to work. 4 would make these an 8 9 pair. That looks okay. Oh, look, it is 8. Garion has found the proof that this digit is 8 by asking where circle 8 9 goes in column 7. So this is circle 8 9, and circle 8 9 is 8. Beautiful, beautiful. So these are all 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these are a 2, 4 pair. Very nice, AFK. Yeah, that would be truly tragic. We've got a 1, 2, 4 triple here, so that makes that a 3, and also this digit is a 9. So that digit's a 9. And fill in our 8 and 9 over there. We've also got a 1, 2, 4 triple in this column, so that digit's a 9. Let's see. Were this to be a 4, I would need 3 8 9s in these cells. That's not going to work super well, so this is a 2. Okay, and so as a 2, we need one of these. Oh yeah, 1 is too small. Even 2 is too small, so this has to be a 3, is a good point from Todd, because it already sees more than that. Oh, we have 8 8s in the grid. That sounds like a good thing to count. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so this 3 is now happy, so this can't be an 8 or a 9. Very helpful. This can't be a 7, 8, or a 9 either, I suppose. So there's a 7 down here somewhere. Let's see. We should probably be able to do some more sudoku. What about this? Okay. Not a 5, not a 9, not a 9. But this isn't a 7, as previously noted, because the 3 already has its 3 digits. Oh, we can also finish 9s. Yeah, that's a 9. And then that is a 9, and then we've got all the 9s. Oh yeah, 3 in this box is just placed here, is a very smart spot, so that's a 3 and that's a 7. It's going to come kind of close to placing 7s. Yeah, we've got the 8 and the 9 for the 2, so therefore this is not a 7. That's a 7. That's a 7. And that's a 7. Somehow there's still one more. That's a 7. There we go. Now we've got all the 7s. So these are at most 5. Owing to the fact that this 2 is already happy. That is a 1, 2, 4 triple. So these are a 5, 6 pair. Okay, I probably overdid that. That was probably not worth pencil marking. I will mark that this, though, is a 4, because it's a 4, 5, or 6 by the column, and it's a 4 by the 5, 6 pair in the box. So that's a 2. That's a 1 and a 4. 2, 1, 4. Okay, that seems to have been a good observation for purposes of eliminating candidates from digits, or from cells. Okay, and then we can mark the rest of it. 5, 4, 6, 3, 1, 5, and 6. Also a great puzzle. That's 3 for 3 on fantastic submissions to this setting prompt. So really creative stuff, too. I don't think I've seen anything quite like these. This is a really natural idea that I've never seen, but this is a really cool idea. And the AFK one, like, read so weird when I read the rules, but was very, very cool and surprising. Negative constraint, and then we had the this loop, which was also very nice and very well put together. So all great work on all the puzzles. So thank you for submitting those. And we've actually got time to do some extra puzzles. So I'm going to take a second and be right back, and then we'll do some extra puzzles. Bye for now. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we have a math pesto ambiguity puzzle between killer and look and say. So that is to say that this cage either sums to 23 without repeating digits or contains two threes, for example. And in looking at this, the first thing I saw was that this 11 cage / this 1 cage has a 1 in it no matter what. Now, certainly these can't both be look and say cages. We don't have that many threes. Could they both sum to 23 possibly? No. Well, let's see. If they both summed to 23, this digit would be a 9. If the whole grid was a cage, it would be either a 99 cage or a cage that doesn't work within the rules. I agree. Let's see. So this cage definitely has at least 1 in it. Okay. So this 21 cage is a 21 cage. Because of the interaction with this 21 cage. Because this is either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it has 2 1s in it. In either case, neither of these digits is a 1. Which means this cage definitely has at most 1 in it. So it is a killer cage. We'll make those yellow. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can be pink because it's a look and say cage. It could also be a killer cage, but it just doesn't matter. These certainly aren't the 1. But now that definitely tells me this is a look and say cage, because if this were to be a killer cage, we'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 septuple in column 1, among probably lots of other problems. So that tells me there's a 1 there and a 1 there, which not do that. Gets rid of the 1 there and places a 1 here, and we get another 1 dance today. Boop boop ba doop. Woo! Boop boop ba doop. Wah! Boo doop ba doop. Wee! Ba doop boo doop ba doop boo doop boo doop boo boo doop boo. Wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Okay, so this 31 cage now doesn't have room to have 3 1s in it, so it's a killer cage. Because of the 1 looking across there at it. No, row 4, column 2 isn't 1 even. I'll take that. Oops. So that's a 1. So yeah, so this has got excuse me. It does need to have a bunch of low digits in it. Does need to have a 1 in it, which is going to be in one of these cells, but I don't know how much use that is going to be to us, if I'm being honest. This can't have 3 4s in it, because if this has 3 4s in it, both of these are 4s, and that rules 4 out of my 21 cage. So this is also a genuine killer sorts of cage. And apparently, I guess this is 1 less than the maximum, so of course it's forced. This is 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does that make it impossible that this is a 7, 9 cage? Yes, it does, because this cage, if this 16 cage is a killer cage, then 7 and 9 would look at all 4 of these cells, which would be a problem. So this is a look and say cage, which means it has a 6 in it, which makes that be a 6, which makes that be a 6, and that be a 6, funnily enough. So we've got lots of 6s placed. We now know the 11 cage isn't also a killer cage. In fact, it might even be worth mentioning for later that these numbers are only from 7, 8, 9 now, because they see the 2, 3, 4, 5, and they see 1 and 6. So those numbers are big. It's not super relevant at the moment, of course, but what are you going to do? Yeah, we know there's a 1 in here. We know there's a 2 in here. That's less useful. What else can we say here? So if this were a killer cage, it couldn't be 6, 8 anymore. It would have to be 5, 9. Otherwise, there's a 4 in these cells. I don't quite see what's wrong with either of those options. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on over there that I don't quite understand yet. I guess I should write in that these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, just in case it's helpful. Sorry, they're even... Oh, sorry, that's not true. Sorry, there's still a low digit in these cells. Sorry, because of the... This is not a sextuple. What on earth is that sound? 1 second. Something weird's happening. I'm going to go check on it. I think it turns out that something weird happening was pickleball related and not my house flooding related. At least that's the hope. Yeah, there's definitely no 6 in it, regardless of the flavor that it happens to be. Yes, I would like to have my house not flood. That is that is on the priority list. Yeah, so if one of these... So let's take Eckbert's point here. If one of these is look and say, the other one, of course, isn't. But if one of them is look and say, the other one's also not a killer, because any 23 cage needs to that is 6 cells large needs to have a 3 in it. So these are both real killer cages, which doesn't tell me a lot other than that this digit is a 9, and these are one of each flavor of this. So one of them has an 8 and one of them has a 7 in this row. So these aren't 7 or 8 or 9. I don't think the any 23 6-cell sum needing a 3 is terrible if you're used to thinking about the fact that the minimum sum of 6 cells is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 21. So you only have 2 degrees of freedom above that. And so with 2 degrees of freedom, you can't move anything below the 5. So if you're used to thinking about it in those terms, it's nice. Okay, Garian says we should do math and figure out this, or notice that by what I just said, there's 2 1, 2, 3, 4s in here, and so therefore these are just a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. Places a 1 there. I like that. No 9 over there. Let's see. So one of these is genuinely a 1. I wonder if that was how I was supposed to deduce that this 31 cage wasn't a look and say cage. Because that sort of looks down here at this. I just ignored these basically at the beginning because I didn't see the thing. Oh yeah, this is just a 5. Very good. Because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4 in the row, and it sees 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the column. Okay, so those aren't 5. So one of these is 5. Let's see. There's a 6 up here somewhere. Oh yeah, both 23 cages need a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this one didn't get the 1 from the row, so it has to get the 1. Sorry, it didn't get the 1 from row 1, so it has to get it from row 2, and it can only get it there. It does plonk a 1 in one of these 2 cells. No, sorry, it does not. Do you know for sure there's not a 4 in here, Yahav? Box 5 also needs a 1, and that 1 goes there. So the 1 over here, because the 1's a line between these boxes, actually goes in one of these 2 cells. Yes. Now, if this was a killer cage, it would be 6, 8, 9. Yes, this is an ambiguity puzzle between killer cages and look and say cages is the thing. So it either has 1, 4 or the digits sum to 14. This, for example, now is a look and say cage, so it has 2 4s in it, which means that's a 4, and there's a 4 over down here, and I know which one of those is going to be the 4 because this 4 is going to look over at that, which means that the 4 down here is going to look over at that. Oh no, not at all. I don't read rules to puzzles I'm solving all the time and then get surprised when something doesn't work out, so I certainly don't begrudge anyone for that. This 23 cage would definitely require a 4 if it were a killer cage, and it doesn't have one now. So now this is a look and say cage, making that a 3 and making there be a 3 down here somewhere. Not in the column with the 3, for example. I'm not even sure which 14 we're talking about because I don't see any relation to either of these. Because this 4 could still be here. It's not like we know that that's a 4. Let's see. There's that 4 together with this 4. Look at this. Okay, I see. Yeah, there's a 4 looking over from these cells and that 4, and those collectively rule 4 out of this. That does make this 5, 9, and a authentic yellow cage. Placing the 5 there in this 21 cage. Okay, and this 14 cage also isn't look and say, because there's a 4 in this 23 cage, because there's a 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here, and so there's a, and that's not the 4. So the 4 is over here somewhere, so that's not a 4, and this isn't a 4 by that. So this is also a killer cage, although we don't know which flavor of killer cage it is yet, I don't think. Yeah, this 31 cage also needs a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so the 4 isn't in any of those cells. So one of these two cells is a 4. And not in row 7, because we've got a 4 corner marked over here. Very good. So that's a 4, which makes that a 4. Makes these a 7, 8, 9. Makes these a 2, 3, 5. That has become not a 4, so that is a 4 now. Oh, sorry, that's not true. Sorry, there's a 4. Still another option for 4. Oh, yeah, the 3. Where does the 3 go in this? The 3 is here now, right? Because of this corner marked 3 has sucked 3 out of all of these. So, yes, you're correct, I think. Assuming you meant row 4, column 6, which is what I thought you meant. Let's see. So there's a 9 in here. There's a 9 in here. So there's a 9 running across here. And I don't think we can get up. Oh, we can squeeze a 9 in here if we want. Horrible. I'd rather not. Okay, this box still needs a 2, 3, and a 7, 8. Okay, and this one of those is only 2. Which makes that a 3, 4, 2. Makes that a 5, 2. Makes these a 7, 8. That means one of these two is a 9, so that means that's not a 9. And one of those two being a 9 makes that a 5, and that a 9. Let's see. There's a 5 over here somewhere. Okay, these digits, that's now a 3. Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. Let me just write in what these digits are. 3, 7, 8, 9. Go in these cells. Okay, so this is... Oh, no, never mind. Oh, row 6 only has 1 digit left in it. I should probably write that in. It's a 2. So that isn't a 2. So this 1, 2 cage only gets to be a look and say if that digit's a 2. Let's see, left in this row are 6, 7, 8, and 9. Do know there's a 1 in here, and then either a 5 and a 9 or a 6 and an 8. Oh, we know this isn't a 7 because we know that this is a real killer cage. So so basically the 14 sum that's in this cage is a different 14 sum than this one, which means that this digit isn't part of the 14 sum. So it's 1 or 7. I don't really want to pencil mark that, though. Oh, row 7 has a triple. That's very helpful now. Makes that a 3. Makes that not a 3. Oh yeah, this is the version without a 5, has now been observed. So this is the one that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. I'm just going to mark 6 and 7 in here. And then this is the one with 5 and 8 in it somewhere. One of these two is a 3 for sure. Let's see. One of these two is a 4. I don't think I quite know which one yet. We're getting close, though. If this is a 2, that's a 2. Sorry, if this is a 2, that's a 2, is what I meant to say. That I clicked the wrong spot. You know, one of those two is 4. Doesn't help a lot. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, so Mekti has explained it. Yeah, so the point about the 14 sum and the here and the 14 sum here being different is what's really going on. This is not part of the 14 sum, and so this is also not part of the 14 sum that appears in the 31 cage. So we legitimately have all. This is like an extra region in the puzzle. There are no repeated digits here. And so, owing to that sort of extra region goodness, well, we know like this digit, I guess, goes in one of those two. Yeah, like this digit goes in one of those two places, is what we know. I don't quite know what to do with it though. It's close. It's like tantalizingly close. Why can't it be in the 12 cage? I don't understand the connection with the 12 cage. Do you know the 12 cage doesn't have a 2 in it? Okay, I like Garian's idea of just center marking this cell because either it's part of a 12 sum, in which case it's a 5 to go with a 7, or a 4 to go with an 8, can't be a 3 to go with a 9, or it's a 2. And so in all cases, this digit goes here because it needs to appear in the 23 cage, and this is the 23 cage with the 5, so the 2, 4, 5 always shows up here. Okay, so that tells me it's not a 4. It also tells me the 8 in this box is over here, and so that's not an 8 ever. For whatever that is worth. It's a 5 or a 6. Those go with 8 or 9 over here, so this isn't a 6 anymore. Hey, Jada, how are you doing? Yeah, one of these is 1. Yes, yes, yes. This digit now sees all the digits in the 23 cage, right? We know exactly what these digits are, is the point. And therefore, by virtue of knowing what those digits are, we know what digits aren't in them, which are 6 and 7, which makes these a... Sorry, 6, 7, and 9? Yeah, 6, 7, and 9, which makes these cells be a 6, 7, 9 triple. Therefore, of those, that one can only be 6. These are 7 and 9. That makes that an 8. Makes that a 7 and an 8. Makes that an 8. It's not an 8. Okay, and so now this can no longer be a killer cage because 5 went with 7 in the killer version. So now this is a look and say cage where that's a 2, which makes that a 2, which makes that a 1, which makes that a 2. Makes that a 1. These digits are 5 and 7. But remember, there needs to be a... So we know there's a 7 in here, and then 2 digits that add to 14. So it's got to be 7, 5, and 9, and the only way that it's 7, 5, and 9... Oh, yeah, or, yeah, let's go back to the extra region. These are an extra region, so that 6 sees that cell, so that's a 9, 7, 5. That, J. Dyer rediscovered the extra region from first principles, I believe, effectively. Although I believe J. Dyer did it with the power of math, which is a little scary. Okay, let's see. That's an 8. Okay, so now these are 3, 4, 5. This is not a 3. These are 3, 4, 6, 7. That's not a 4, that's not a 7. Seems like we have all the clues now, right? It does seem so. So now we can do 3 over here. Is there. Let's see. I already knew one of those was a 1. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a 4, 6, 8, so that's a 7, which makes that not a 7. And now the 7 goes in one of those 2 cells, I suppose. These are now 6, 9, so there's no 6 there. And no 8 there either. These are 1 and 3. Okay, there's a 3, 4 pair in this row, which rules 4 out of that cell and 3 out of that one. That makes these a 7, 8 pair, which makes that an 8. Oh, sorry, which makes that a 5. Other way around. No 5s there. There's a 7, 8 pair, so that makes that a 9 and a 4. Seven, 8, 3, 1. Let's see, that is a 5. 2, 3, 7, 6, 9, 2, and 6. Very nice puzzle there. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Very well set, although no surprise having a puzzle from Math Pesto be well set. Alrighty. Let me take a little break, and I'll be right back, and we can do another puzzle. So see you all in just a moment. All right, we're back with a arrow killer puzzle from 99% Sneaky with 1 clone. These 2 contain the same digit. Let's see what we can do. Well, I guess we can mark our given length 3 arrows with a 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and we can actually say that this 9 cage has two 1, 2, 3s in it, and this has two 1, 2, 3s in it. So actually, this cell is a 1, 2, 3, and there's a 1, 2, 3 in one of these cells and one none 1, 2, 3. So the rest of this column doesn't have 1, 2, 3s in it. That does mean that this isn't a 6, because that would put two 1, 2, 3s here. So you can certainly have a 4, 5, or 6 in here. We definitely need a 4, 5, or 6 in here. So then we've got 1, 4, 5, 6, and 3, 7, 8, 9s left. One of them goes there. To look at that. How many 1, 2, 3s does a 16 cage need? It could get away with 1, just barely. Oh, we could just use math for the column 5 arrow if we want to be boring about it. The column sums to 45, minus 29 is 16, which makes this an 8. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Woo! Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wah! Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. We are allowed to do that, I suppose. But it's way less fun than counting 1, 2, 3s, you have to admit. These 6 cells sum to a maximum of 26. So therefore they contain a 1. Is that true? Yeah, I think they contain a 1 is all we get out of that. And they don't contain a 9 for sure. But just summing 6 digits, if you need to get to at most 26, then you get that. Okay, let's figure out what is the sum of all of these cells. That's probably a good question to ask ourselves. So it's 16 and another 16 is 32. And then 49. I believe the answer is it's 49. Which means that these sum to 4. So that's a 1. And these are a 1, 2. In order to make that possibly work. Okay, so the 1 isn't there. These are all blue. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. That's true. Neither of these is 1, 2, 6 anymore. So these are now only going up to 5. Of course, this one's still blue. They both have a 3 in them in particular. So there's no 9 in here for what it's worth. So this is either 4, 8, or 5, 7. And yeah, so there's a 3 in one of these cells in particular. Right, the diamond means that this isn't a 1. Agree with that. can even fill in that this is a 2, 3, 4, or 5. Do these... No, they certainly don't both need a 1 and a 2 or anything like that. This is certainly a 3, 4, or 5, which sort of pairs up with the 4, 5 in this to make something almost interesting happen. Maybe the question I should ask is, where does the 9 go in this box? 9 going in the 16 cage would have to go with 1, 2, 4. 9 going in the 17 cage would have options. Oh, how did I not notice this? There was a pair of arrows that need to have some at least 15. So this is a 6, 7, 8, or 9. I don't know how useful it is, but it's definitely something I should have seen. It certainly means that the 8 and 9 in this box are off these arrows. And certainly means that the 1, the 2, and the 3 are on these arrows. A good point. This digit needs to go in column 1, and it can't go in here without your 4 digits summing to 10, but also summing to a single digit number problem. So these two are the same. So this is not 4 or 5. This is 2, 4, 5. It's possibly useful. Hey, Nell, how are you doing? There's at least... Oh, no, not quite. One of these is definitely a 1, 2, 3, just by counting the column. I guess I can start marking things that are definitely not 1, 2, 3s. Like that. This I know is not a 1, 2, 3. In fact, these I also know aren't 1, 2, 3s. Hopefully it is a fun part-time job. This can't be a 1, 2, 3 because it would require those to be 1, 2, and it would break that cell. Yeah, this is certainly at least 5. Oh, I don't know why I have 7. Oh, I do know why I have 7 marked there, but you're correct. It definitely doesn't have a 7 on it. Could squeeze a 7 over here if we were so inclined. I think I can really I can prove that this isn't a 1, 2, 3 if I really have to, but I don't want to. This certainly isn't a 1, 2, 3 because I can't have all of the. One of these has to be at least a 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can actually let's be smart and do what we did a long time ago, but now that it's better. So I previously maximized the sum of these three circles and got something out of that. But in that I maximized the sum of these as being 18. The maximum sum of these circles is now 15 because of these. So actually this is 15 plus 9 is the maximum is 24. And so that means that we actually need a 1, a 2, and a 3 in here. So all the low digits actually do appear on these arrows in this box. So these are not 1, 2, 3s anymore. This digit's at least 6 because of the same math, because these sum to a maximum of 15, but we need to get to at least 21, so this is 6, 7, 8, 9. I have a suspicious feeling that Jay Dyer also told me that was at least 6 for a completely different reason. These are certainly not 1, 2, 3, because again, we need the 1, 2, 3 in there. Oh, I used the same reason. I just got distracted from. I like read your point and then started doing something else and then got distracted before I got back to it. That makes sense. Sounds like me. Very believable. I can prove this cell isn't both 8 and 9 because of box 4. Could be helpful. Could be helpful. Knowledge bomb, indeed. These aren't 8 and 9. That's good. So yeah, so the it's a little bit, but yeah, let's look at that. So yeah, so these together sum to a maximum of 39 uh because these sum to a minimum of 6, and so therefore since this is 23, these can't actually be 8 and 9. So that does kick 7 out of these and bump 7 into my pile of these digits over here. Let's see, can I possibly do anything with my low digits over here to contemplate this? Oh yeah, this can't be a 5 because that can't be a 2. And this can't be a 4 because that can't be a 3. True. I, of course, know these two 9 cages are different. I don't know how useful that is right away. That's a good point, Edenzer. So yeah, so we can do the math. If these sum to 15 or 16, plus 23 is 38 or 39. And so these are from 6 or 7. So these are certainly for 1, 2, 3, 4, and definitely contain a 1 and a 2. So in particular, that 1, 2 is the same as this digit. Make that blue circle. And the other 1, 2 is definitely here. So that means there's no 1 or 2 on this arrow because the other 1, 2 is here, right? So that means this arrow does have a 1 and a 2 on it. Because it... Oh, no, sorry, it doesn't. No, it does have a 1 and a 2 on it, right? Yeah, so this arrow now has a 1 and a 2 on it. It doesn't have a 3, so the 3 is over here. So that's going to do everything, because now these are 1, 2, 4. They sum to 7, which makes these sum to 30, which means these do sum to 15, which means that we can pluck the 6 off of there and the 6 off of there, fill in a 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Also remove 3 from these, knock 1 and 2 out of these. So this isn't a 3 anymore, it's a 1 or a 2. It's the other 1, 2. Oh, right, the 4 looks up from here, so these aren't 4, so these in fact are 3, 5, making that an 8 and that a 7. Thank you, Drolier. Okay, so that gets rid of the 7 and 8 out of here. So these are 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, this digit here is, of course, 5, 7, or 8. I'm just going to mark for the future. That isn't 7. So this is maximum 9. These need to sum to at least 21. So these need to sum to at least 21 minus 9 is 12. And we can't use 7 or 8. So we have to use a 9. Oh, sorry. I just entered the remaining digits in this box very poorly. The 3 is here. One of these has to be a 9, though, right? That's what we just proved, because if not, then they don't sum to enough. Let's see. Yeah, we can fill in this bit. That's a 3, 5, making that a 1, making that a 2, and a 2, and a 1. We can uncirclex, if you will. It's not a 7 anymore. These aren't 5 anymore, so these aren't 6 or 9 anymore. This is an 8. Oh, in fact, I'd already marked that this was going to be an 8, apparently. No 8 here, so no 4 here. So these are 5 and 7. So there's no 5 and no 1. So this is 2, 3, 4. Over there's no 1 here. So now the 1 genuinely is on this stick over here. This 5, 7 looks over here and makes that a 3 and that a 4.
let's see, these are 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Those aren't 4. That's not 4 either, so that is 4. It wasn't 4 because of the 1-4 pair looking up here. So these are 6 and some other thing, 6 and 9. Looking across there, these are 1, no, sorry, not 1. 6, 8, and 9. It's not an 8. Okay, good progress. Keep looking at the pressure on this. Okay, neither of these can be 3, by the way. So they're certainly 4, 5, 6, or 9. That one can't be 4 either. This one can't be 4 either, although it's slightly harder to see, but it would make too many 1, 2, 3, 4s in the column. Okay, so these are either 5, 6, or 9. One of them's 9. Maybe this 23 cage without 9 is interesting. Not especially, is what I'm concluding. I guess it definitely has an 8. It's not very interesting. 2 in box 2's over here, thank you. 1 in box 2 is in fact exactly here. Okay, so these two need to add to 13. So they can't be 4, 9, so they have to be 6, 7. So that is a 9. We've plucked 1 degree of freedom off of this now. Now these need to add to 7 with a 2, so they better be 2 and 5. Like that. So now these sum to at most 23, actually. And so at most 23 means that we assuredly have a 4 in here as well. Which maybe sounds more useful than it is. This isn't a 5 anymore because of this 2, 3, 4 business. Can't have a 1 in the 23 cage anymore. That's true. So that has made this digit a 1. Very, very wise. So yeah, the 1's on this arrow, we know. Okay, so the 2 and the 3 are definitely not on this arrow for what it's worth, because the 1 is. So this is 1, 4, 1, 5, or 1, 8. And if this is 1, 8, then these are 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to make the sum work out. Row 7 needs 3 and 4, and Garion points out they go here and here, so this is the other 5, 6. Let's see. So this digit's certainly at least 4. And this number is at most 5. But it's not 2 or 5 by the column. This one's not 5 by the column as well. 4, 3, 1 looks horrible, but is maybe possible. Oh, these are a 3-4 pair, so this is just a 1. Right, there's a 3-4 pair, so that's a 1. It gives me all of that. So this isn't 4, it's a 3, and it is a 4. Makes that a 2-3 pair, which makes that a 4. Okay. What is left in this column? 6, 7, and 8 is the answer. This one's not an 8. One of these two is an 8. Looks almost interesting. Not 5. Yes, because I need a 2 or 3 on both of these arrows, is the point. Because I don't have a 1 in this sum. Sorry, I need a 2 or a 3 on this arrow, so I can't make this a 5, because that would make this a 2, 3, and now this arrow would sum to at least 9. So this is never a 5. I agree with that. Column 7 has a 6, 9 pair. Look at that. 8. Sweet. We like pairs. Now we've got our 6, 7, 9 thing in the row. One of these is an 8, which means these numbers are never 8. Let me just clean up some of my coloring. A little bit. Okay. This is also known to be gray. Oh, yes, we have slightly obscured this clue, right? Let's just catch a bit to make it stand out a little bit better. Not a 6 by row 4. Right, yeah. So yeah, if this were a 6, it would need to be 2, 4 because the 1 in the row is gone, but that sells a 2 or a 4. So yeah, so this is always a 7 or an 8. Agree. Box 9 Audi math. So these sum to 14 or 15. So these sum to 15 or 16. Plus 23 is 38 or 39. So these sum to 6 or 7. That sounds like I did that math wrong. I don't think that can be right. I must be one off, right? Okay, so these two sum to 6 or 7, that's right. So they don't contain a 1 or a 6 for sure. And so the thing that AFK would like to use this to do is to note that the 7 in this column now is in one of these cells. And the 7 can't actually be there because a 7 here would require that I put a 1 with it, but I can't put a 1 with it there. So now there's a 7 on this arrow, which makes that a 9, which makes this not a 9, which makes these not 8. And so these are 1, 4, or 1, 5. Regardless, though, the 5 looks up and makes that a 7 and a 5. Makes that a 6 and a 9. These are a 2, 7. This arrow has a 3 on it, and it's either 3, 4, or 3, 5. That one is only a 3, though. Okay, and so now I know the total sum of these, because we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. What's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7? Sounds like 22 to me. So these digits have to sum to 22. Means these two need to sum to 13. So they're either 5, 8, or 6, 7. Sure. Oh, right. These sum to 6 or 7, so we can just fill in the 3 and the 4. Oh, that's tragic. I wish I hadn't done that. Now we didn't get to use the math in this box at all, which was so cool, but we skipped it by using some outie stuff down here. That's very sad. I'm only a little hurt. Let's see. So that is a 6. Now, let's see. There's a 9. There's a 7. Okay, 5 and 3 and 2 and so 1 and a 4. I mean, I knew the sum of these digits. So the math was just telling me the sum of these two digits, which told me the sum was 13. So I knew that. That was the part that I was more enticed by than the outie math. So these are 3s. That's a 2. Let's see. 5, 3. 5, 2. Okay, so now we've got some 2s to deal with in the rest of the grid. Let's go ahead and mark everything up, though. That'll probably help place said 2s. So, for example, this is one of the 2s that we have now placed. So we can do 6, 8, 2, 7, 9, 6, 5. Yeah, these are both... in fact, actually, all of those are gray, so we can use our coloring to place that this is a 2, proving that the coloring was useful the whole time. 9, 9, 7, 2. I did this backwards somehow. How did I do this backwards again? What did I do? I don't know how I screwed this up so badly. Oh, I just colored these backwards. Oh, yes, that's exactly what happened. Yes, this was supposed to be gray, and that was supposed to be blue. My 2-9 that was not a 9, I colored gray. Woohoo! Nice little jaunt through arrows and killers. I enjoyed that. I kept looking at this. I really liked the sort of like combo of 3 arrows with 6 cells, and I don't think it really did that much in the puzzle, but it did do some things because it was very relevant when the total got pushed down because of this. So it all worked out well. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come back with another puzzle, so see you all in just a moment. Hello, welcome back. We have a puzzle called Cotton Candy by Katie Splendor here. So we have regular arrows, double arrows, black dots, and a single V. Notably, there are no negative constraints. So let's see. So we've got that this is certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4. So certainly this isn't 1, 2. Let's see. These, well, this one at least, actually both of these are at least 6. And neither of them can be 7 or 9 because of black dot stuff. Oh, and in fact, actually, one of them has to be 6, and one of them has to be 8 because these are a 3-4 pair. There's no negative constraint on double arrows. All double arrows are given. Oops. Okay, so this dot if I sort of just remember that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, there's no 5 on here, and there's no 3 on here either, right? So there's always a 2 included on this dot, no matter how I'm composing my 8. And if I actually make an 8, I can't make 1, 3, 4, because if I make 1, 3, 4 as my 8, I just don't have any digits. So in fact, there's never a 4 in any of these cells. And so in fact, these both have to be 1, 2 arrows. And so these digits are a 3, 5 pair in a bizarre sort of world where that happens. Oh, and these 3 digits sum to 14. Do I know anything about 3 digits that sum to 14 that don't have a 3 or a 4 in them? Do they need a 1 or a 2? They probably need a 1 or a 2, right? If they don't have a 1 or a 2, then they'd be at least 5, 6, 7. That's way too big. So yeah, so there's a 1, 2 in here, and not both of them. So the absolute minimum that these can sum to is 1, 5, 6, which is already 12, for whatever that's worth. Who knows? It's definitely a 1 or 2 here, so these aren't 1, 2 down here. This just can't be 6 is the point. There we go. That's a nice way to do this. The 1, 2 pair here tells me that this can't sum to 6 because it would have to be 1, 5 or 2, 4. So this is an 8. Okay, so we get to resolve this, and we get to do an 8 dance. Boop, boop, ba-doop, woo! Boop, boop, ba-doop, wah! Ba-doop, boo-doop, ba-doop, boo-doop, boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Okay, so that makes that one the 5, the 4, the 3, the 3, the 6. That makes this a 1, 4, which makes this be a 3, 6 automatically. Because if 1 and 4 are out, I can't make any black dot but 3 and 6. That makes this be either a 2 or a 5, because that's how black dots work. Okay, this is a 3, 5, because it's the only way to make this whole thing work. So this is either a 2, 6 or a 1, 7. These numbers are big. 4, 6, 7, 9. I guess that just means the minimum here is 10, so that's just telling me this number is at least 2. That's not as exciting. We certainly know that this is from 1, 2, 4, 8. We certainly know that one's not an 8. Let's see. This digit, therefore, is 2, 4, or 5, and it's not a 5, actually. So actually, these are a 2, 4 pair now, going with a 1 or an 8, meaning that this is now a 3, 6 sort of dot, because I can't use 2 or 4 on it. That's pretty good. So there's a 6 in one of these cells over here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, this is from 1, 2, 4, 5, but I don't know which one. These are at least 4 and 5, though. Oh, there's a 1, 4 pair here, is a good point from chat. So that's 2, 4, which makes that an 8. Which means that these need to sum to 14. So they're either 5, 9, 6, 8, or 7, 7. Is a lot of options. These are, just for the record, 1, 5, 7, and 9. And the 5's up here, looking that way. Oakley dokley. That does mean it's not 6, 8. That's true. And this one's definitely not a 1. So it's either 5, 9, 7, 7, or 5, 9 the other way. Or it's not 5, 9 this way, so that one's not a 9. So we get that sort of combo, which actually gives me a 1, 7, 9 triple in the column. That means the rest of the column is 3, 4, 6, and 8. This one's unlikely to be any of those things except for 4. Which is pretty cool. So that makes this one 1, 5, which makes that a 2 and a 1. It makes that not a 4. These aren't 4. Good. It puts a 2 over up there. Okay, this one's not a 1, so it's not a 7. Let's see. Am I prepared to say anything deep about things? I'm prepared to say something not deep, which is that this is a 2 and this is a 1. And one of these is a 1. This has been lovely, by the way. One of these is a 1 for the column, so this isn't a 1 for the row, although I guess I also knew that because of the 1, 4 pair. Take your pick. Yeah, we've got 6 looking at this column in assorted ways, meaning that the 6 actually has to go exactly there with a 1 there. And a 1 there. So these are a pair. 7 and 9. And these are a pair of 4 and, well, sorry, they're a single of 4 and 5, not 5. 8. Okay, so 8 plus 9 is just not possible. So this has to be a 7 by the double arrow, making that a 9 over there. No 4 there. Let's see. I probably should actually write out what this is. So these digits from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And I know there's none of them are 6, actually, because of the box. One of them is 2. So we're looking for 2 and a way to add to 12. So it has to be 5, 7, just by examination. So these are 6, 9. Those aren't. These are a pair of 3 and 8. Yeah, we know the order. No, sorry, they're not 3 and 8. One of them is 8, though. They're 8 and 9, making that a 7. So this is another 2, 5 for the row, which gives us a 2, 5 pair in the box, which is pretty cool. So now these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are just 7, 8, 9. Those aren't 8, so that one is. Okay. This is unfolded very adorably. So what do I turn my gaze towards? That 2, 5 looks down, making that a 6, 7. So that is a 1 or a 2. Not perhaps maximally useful. 2 and 5 are down here. That doesn't look that great. We can fill in the rest of this column. It's not so bad. 3, 4, 6, 7 is what's left in the column. Okay, so 6 and 7 are too large. Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. Oh, there's a weird parity thing, right? Because this number is definitely odd. So if this is a 6, the sum is odd, which makes that a 3, and that doesn't work. And so if this is a 4, it makes the sum odd, which would work. But if this is a 3, it makes the sum even, and that never works. Because of how this sort of, like, I've never quite seen this sort of crisscross play here. So if this is a 4, then that's a 3, and this is a 7. If this is a 7, then that's a 6, and this is a 7. So this is always a 7. By a weird parody trick that I've never seen before. One of these is a 9. Let's see, the maximum here is 16, so that would be if this were an 8. The minimum here is 10. Yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit more than I want to at the moment to identify what this is. This is that's a little bit more bashing. I believe you, but I don't want to try all 4 possibilities. 4 is too many possibilities to try. Let's see. I bet we can do some more Sudoku elsewhere, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, no 4, 5, no 4, 8, no 7 over here. Interesting. 2 in column 1 is located over here. Got a 9, yeah, this cell I think is quite restricted too, isn't it? Could be 1. No, it can't be 1. Can't be 2. Could be 3. Can't be 4. Could be 5, 6, not 7, not 8, not 9. Okay, so this is 3, 5, or 6. So yeah, so 6, 8, 1 works. Is fine. Let's see. Make that a 5. Let's see. You know, there's a 2 up there. There's a 4 over down here. So there's a 4 down here somewhere. I agree that one of these 2 is 4. Likewise, one of these 2 is 4. It just feels very not like everything else in the puzzle to try all 4 combinations of these 2 and argue what it could be. I don't think there's anything wrong with this being a 4 that isn't looking 3 steps ahead to what this could be with that combination. But we haven't had to do any bashing like this before, which is why I was trying to avoid it. But we can if we want. So the 4 combinations are 4 and 6, which would put a 2 here. That doesn't work. 4 and 9, which would put a 5 here. That doesn't work. So this is not a 4. And then 7 and 6, which would put a 5 here. And 7 and 9, which would put an 8 there. And so that's the only one that works. In general, I would, in the strongest possible terms, discourage that kind of step in puzzles. But I suspect it's not what the author intended here, because in general, this has been a very responsible puzzle that we've had going around. Okay, so these need to add to 16. So if this is a 3, these need to be 1, 9. Why do I think that? That's not true. If this is a 6, these need to be 1, 9. How about that? That sounds better. If this is a 3, then we're looking at sums to 13. That's still got some optionality to it, unfortunately. This is an 8. How about that? That's probably better. Makes that not an 8. Puts an 8 up here somewhere, but I don't quite know where yet. Oh, this became a 7 at some point. So these 2 differ by 1, with this one being the bigger one. So, yeah, so I guess, yeah, both options actually work here, funnily enough. that is a little bit silly, but it's true. Oh, 8 in this box. Oh, no. 8 in this box, I guess, is just in one of these two cells. It's not quite placed. Oh, let's see. This is not 1, 2, so it could be 3, 4. It's not 5. It could be 6, 7. Can't be 9. So yeah, so that's a 3, 4, 6, 7 quad. And we know this one's not a 4 because of the 4s looking down from that. So yeah, so these are the other 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5, and the 9. And apparently this is a naked single 9. So these are from 1, 2, 5. So there's a 9 exactly here by Sudoku. That seems to be the last 9 in the grid. So yes, so now this can't be 6, because if this were 6, this would have to be 1, 9. Beautiful, doesn't work. Wait, do I know this isn't 3, 7? I somehow before thought I knew that this wasn't 3, 7, but now I don't know why I thought that. It seemed clear to me before for some reason. I think because I added wrong. But I will take this point instead. If this is there's a 5 down here, so that has made this a 3 and a 5, which has made this a 4 and a 7. That being a 7 has made this a 6, which has made that a 5. Makes that a 3, a 6, and a 2. Yeah, when I said 1, 9 before, I thought, yes, if this is a 3, I'm adding to 10, and 2, 3, and 4 are gone, so it can only be 1, 9. But that was all whimsy, I suppose. 6. Oops. Not 3. Okay, so now we're going for 15. We know there's a 4 in it, so it's 15. So it's 15 with a 4. So then we need 2 things that add to 11. That means we can't use an 8 in here because it would need to go with a 3, and we can't use a 1 in here because it would need to go with a 10. So that makes that all set out like that. That is an 8. It's a 4. One of these is a 2. It's a 7. Over here, we've got a 1 and a something. I guess I'm now prepared to say that this can't be a 6, but we'll just fill in the digits for the rest of the grid. Oops, I lost my mouse cursor for a second. Oops, that's not what I wanted to hit. I wanted to hit that. 3, 1, 5, 1. Beautiful, beautiful. I think we got a little sidetracked somewhere along here. But everything else there was just perfect flow, like the exactly the kind of thing I like to see in an easier side of a puzzle. Anyway, let me find another puzzle. Let's see, what else do I have laying around here? Let's do this blobs multivariant puzzle. Oh, how many stars was that? That was listed as 2. Aside from the 1 step, I think it would have been probably comfortably 1, but hard to say. Oh, I know it's got slow thermos. I probably wouldn't have done it if I knew it had slow thermos, but we'll survive. So we've got slow thermos. Digit in a blue circle is a counting circle. And then quadruples and killer, but oh yeah, sorry, there is even rules in the killer. There we go. Okay. So how many blue circles are there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so our digits in circles sum to 16. It is good to note. Okay, we can good lift this. So this is at most 1, 2, or sorry, at least 1, 2, 2. Oh, sorry, this one can't even be a 2. So this one's at least a 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And at most, 9, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6. Now, I should have done way smarter than that because this 20 cage can't possibly contain a 1 or a 2. So actually, this one is really at least a 3, although it can't even be a 3 once I take into account that this number is max 7. So the maximum that these two digits can sum to is 16. So this is actually at least a 4. So I need to go and update my minimums. So this is at least a 5. So this is at least a 5, at least a 5, at least a 6, at least a 7, at least a 7, at least a 7. Okay, and so we can now go back and put our marks here. 5. Okay, and we do know that there's a 1, a 2, and 2 digits that add to 12 in here. Oh, smart spot from Gary. And this digit can't be a 5. Or, oh, sorry, no, it could be a 6. 5 and 6 would work well. The maximum these sum to means that the maximum, or sorry, the minimum this can possibly be is 7. So this is automatically 7, 8, or 9. But if we just sort of carry back the maximum, it would be 9, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6. However, accounting for the killer here, this certainly can't be 6. Because these two need to sum to a maximum of 9. So this can actually only be a 1 or a 2. So now let's do minimums. So 1, 2, 2. Sorry, this is minimum 3 because of the quad. 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Although we already noticed this one can't be 5. Okay, so this is between 2 and 7. Can't be 2, actually. Actually, this one can't be 1 or 2 either. So this is at least 3. This is at least 4. Aligning quads are one of the deductions that Zeta thinks need to be retired from puzzles, but I will accept it here. So this is at most 6. But as noted, we can sort of do better that this one can't be 6 because 6, 7 is too big. Even 5, 6 is too big, actually. So 4, though, works, I believe. Oh, but this one can't be 4. So 4, 5 with 7 works, yeah. So this is now minimum 5. Minimum 5, 6, 7. Minimum 7. So we get 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. All like that running around. So we have successfully pencil marked our thermo. Oh, right, yeah. This can peel a 5 off of this, and a 5 off of this, and a 6 off of that, and a 7 off of that. Very good spot. I didn't notice that I had improved that piece running around. Now, how many circles did I say there were? Was it 16? Because we don't get very many 6, 7s in circles, which makes me think these are probably the same. Oh, right, this isn't a 7 anymore, and that's going to improve this, because now 4 or 5 is already too big, right? So now this just has to be a 3, right? And we can bring out Zach for the 3 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wow! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop. Waha! Hey, David, how are you doing? I just dropped the router on the floor. Hopefully it will still continue to internet interest and can fix it later. Row 5, column 8 can't be a 2 because there is 2 on both of these quads. Uh-oh. There we go. My mouse suddenly acted weird. Okay, so these need to add to 13, so they need to be 5 and 8, which makes that an 8, and that an 8, 7, 6, which makes that a 6, and that a 6. And now these need to add to 14, so that has to be a 5 and a 9. That's not a 7. My computer is being weird, probably because of the router getting dropped on the floor. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to pick the router up and see if it makes my mouse look better. 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think we have restored the timeline. And chat has said that I screwed up this. Wait, no, this couldn't ever be a 4 because this digit's at least 3. I think it's fine. In this particular instance. So the problem is that there's a 1-2 pair looking at this cell. So this cell's at least 4. Wait, no, am I wrong? Oh, I don't know why that was ever marked as not being. Who knows? 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. I think that was. I think I just screwed up marking this somehow. This still couldn't be 4 though, right? I don't think this could be 4. Okay. So We know one of these two is a 2. We know one of these two is a 2. We know one of these 3 is a 2, and we know one of these 3 is a 2. And we also know that there's 1s in these cells. Very close to interesting. Oh yeah, this one can never be a 1 is the point, because this digit's not a 1, right? This, at bare minimum, this is a 2 if these are all 2s. So one of these is a 1, which means that neither of these is a 1, because you only get 1, 1 in circles, which means that that's a 1. And so now there's a 1 around here, who knows where it is, but here there's a 1, and it's there. Here there's a 1, and it's there, and here there's a 1, and it's there. Okay, there's a 2 in circles. So there's 2 2s in circles in particular. Oh yeah, the 1 in this box is here. I agree. I forget how big this cage is. This cage is missing 2 things that sum to 9. So this cage just... Oh no, this cage could still have a 1. That's fine. Okay. Oh yeah, the cage definitely has a 1 just by Sudoku. Very good point. Oh yeah, this can't be a 2. This is gross, but it's true. This can't be a 2 because that would be a 2, and that would break the 2 in row 3. So this is a 2. Okay. Funnily enough, there's definitely a 2 in this cage now. Because of that weird Sudoku thing. It makes 3 circled 2s. Okay, this can't be a 2 anymore because this number is at least 3. So we actually know our other location of a circled 2. So that is helpful. So we've got 2 circled 2s there. So now that's a 2. One of these is a 2. One of these is a 2, so that's a 2. And that's not a 2, so that's 2. Looks up and makes that a 2. Yeah, these are a proper 1-2 pair is a good way to put it. 13 circles remain. I don't think it's true that 2 in box 5. Oh, it is true that 2 in box 5 is in the cage. Yeah, you're right. 2 in box 5 now is looked at by this Zackwing of 2s, forcing 2 into one of those. So that's never a 2. So that's a 2. I agree. I apologize for ever doubting you. So now 2 is in fact here. Yeah, there's at least 3 different digits in the remaining circles. Oh yeah, I can't have 2 6 7s in this cage because those would add to 13, and I'd need this to be at least 7. So that's always an 8 or a 9. Let's see. This is now at most 5, by the way, just because 3 plus 8 is 11. Oh yeah, this can't be a 6 also. Same reason. 6, 7 would require a second 7. So yeah, so we've got 1 and 2 in circles. So our remaining circle digits sum to 13. There's at least 3 of them. If one of them is 7, then the other 2 would need to sum to 6 without using a 1 or a 2. So we can argue that 6 isn't a circle digit, if we would like. 9 is placed in box 2. Oh, because I can't have 9 in here, right? That's much better. 9 can't go in the 15 cage because it would, at minimum, go with a 3 and a 4. So that's a 9, which makes those 9. And that, in turn, places a 9 here, which makes that not be 9, which makes that not be 9, that not 8, that not 7, that not 7. Yeah, I said 6 can't be circled, but I didn't like it. Or sorry, I said 7 can't be circled, but I didn't like it. But this does have to be a 6, I agree, and I might use it eventually. Now there's a 9 in these cells, which goes with either a 3 7 or a 4 6. Oh, and there's just a 9 here by Sudoku continuing. Oh, could this have been a 9? Oh, maybe this could have been 999. Yeah, actually, this could be 999. You might be right. Oh, right. If I make this a 9, then now this has become a 3 4 5 triple, which definitely doesn't work. So yeah, I need the last. I think it's pretty reasonable to say I need the last 6 7 8 9 because every 15 cage has a 6 7 8 or 9 in it. So therefore the 9 doesn't go there. So we can re-go forward through this. Okay, and so the 9 goes here in this box by similar logic, and so now this is a 9. I believe. So these two need to add to 11, so they're 4, 7, or 5, 6. One of these two is 9, and it's actually that one. I mean, I might use it. We've just found better things to do. This is the 9. Never mind that I never center marked at 9. It's not clean for a 2-star puzzle, which is what this is listed as, I think. It may well be clean once we have a few additional pencil marks in the grid. Yes, we can add to 15. So this digit is a 3. I like that. So now I've got 1, 2, and 3 in circles. So we're looking for 3 circles that add to 10. Now, I think now it's not asking... it's not asking very much to say you've got... you've got a 1, a 2, and a 3, and now you're looking for... Oh, no, sorry. You're looking for 2 digits that add to 10. Because you certainly can't do 3 digits that add to 10 now. And now there's no debate about whether it's 2 digits or 3 digits. You know for sure it's 2 digits, because I summed it too much, and they just have to be 4 and 6. And so the digits are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and we don't have to do anything too heinous to get it. So we can fill in the 6 there. There's no 5 either, right? So this is now a 6, which makes that a 5. It was too much to argue at once. Was the problem. It wasn't that any individual piece of the argument I thought was too much, but it was a lot of successive argument to get to a not particularly thrilling deduction that was very unmotivated for a 2-star puzzle. Right, the remaining circles are now always 3, 4, 6. Okay, if these were 4, 6, that would be a 5, 0. In fact, this one just is a 4. It's pretty nice. Yeah, obviously the level of puzzle changes what you do, and there aren't a whole lot of mechanisms for an author to communicate intent. But difficulty level is a big way for a creator to communicate intent. So I try to respect it as much as I can. Okay, so this is a 4 or a 6. Always goes with a 3 or a 5 over here. These certainly aren't 3 and 6. I agree with that, because that would require a second 6. So one of them's a 4. So it's either 3 and 4 with an 8, or it's 4 and 6 with a 5, which unfortunately is not super interesting. Four, 5, 7, 8. That one's not a 4 either, so one of these two is a 4. In fact, this whole column has 4, 7, and 8 left, which gives me a 4, 7, 8 triple here, so that's just a naked single something. It's a 5, weirdly enough. So that's a 5. So now the 5 in this box is there. And the 5 in this box is here. Column 3 does have a pair. I agree. Is that a 6, 7, 8? Let's see. These digits are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know these ones aren't 4 because of the 4 looking over. That one's not 3 either. Now we've got a 7, 8 pair, which makes that a 3. Makes that a 4. Oh, we even got a 5 in this cage just by doing Sudoku, and I didn't notice. Right, this is a 4, 5, or 6. Except it's a 5 because there's a 4, 6 pair in here, which makes that a 4, makes that a 6, makes that a 4, makes that a 3. Let's see, that's become an 8, so that's an 8, so that's a 7 and a 4. Let's see, we're adding to 13 now, so that had better be a 6. There's a 3 and a 7, and a 5 and a 4, 6 and a 4, and we can mark the rest of the grid. 6, 8, 7, 3. I'm actually going to have to use this cage in the middle, aren't I? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm never going to use it. 7 over here. This is a 7. 8, 1, 1, 7, 2, 1, 3, 2, 5, 8, 5, 3. Yeah, I think we were supposed to use this cage at some point because we... Oh, no, we did use this cage at one point. We used this cage thanks to, I forget who in chat. I don't remember. Someone in chat pointed out that there was a 2 in one of these cells, and ergo that cell wasn't 2. That is the total of what we used. But we did use the cage, so there aren't any clues I'm aware that we did not use. But very nice combination of, admittedly, almost entirely constraints I don't like, but it's got killer in it. Killer is fine. We did not use the fact that it was a 36, but you would not... Your puzzle should not have a single unclude killer cage in it. If your puzzle has a single unclude killer cage in it, I think you've done something wrong. Like it is better aesthetically to give the killer number than to do that or disambiguate it a different way. So I think this is just good setting practice that this 36 was given, even though we didn't actually need the 36. Anywho, should not give question mark killer cages. If you have multiple question mark killer cages, I think it's totally fine to give question mark killer cages, but you should not have one random question mark killer cage. Yeah, I think, yeah, killer is a beautiful mechanic that is hindered by the fact that it's horrible. Also, when I first loaded this grid, it looked like this. Because we had dashed grid on for the previous one, and doesn't that really make it look better? I'm sorry you had to see that. Yeah, and it's totally possible that other people used more aggressively that it was a 36. Like some people in chat were suggesting I pencil mark stuff off it, and so it might have killer with dash grid is totally cursed. Yeah, it might have gotten us around various other ways. It's totally okay to overclue, especially a 2-star puzzle, if you're a little afraid that someone is going to get stuck on a deduction that you like. Like generally, I'd say if you're setting a 2-star puzzle, you should try and make it so that people do the deduction you intend, but then maybe include a little wiggle room so that if your telegraphing doesn't quite get them there or they want to think about it a different way, they can solve the puzzle anyway. So it's all very reasonable. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with there being a little bit of wiggle to the solve path at all. But anyway, thank you to everyone for hanging out today. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Those of you who do support the channel, again, I'll announce the Can of Wormholes playthrough has started getting posted. You'll get those twice a month. You'll get to see me bash my head against the most confusing thing. Do I know who used slow thermos? I think slow thermos predate me in puzzles by far too long. Back when I started Sudoku, people used all of these horrible mechanics of old, and slow thermos are one of them. Palindromes are another. There's a variety of like old mechanics that were all absolutely horrendous. There's some not horrendous ones, but like if you like go back and look at what was supported in like F puzzles around that era, like clones, I haven't really seen a clone puzzle in years because clone is also absolutely horrendous. Like there's so many better mechanics that we can use to set puzzles, like Renbon. People can use Renbon to set puzzles, and then the world will be a better place. That is the general thing. Slow thermo worked perfectly reasonably here for what it was accomplishing. Like this was not really a like slow thermo wasn't really the center of this. There's someone at LMD whose 1-star puzzles are nearly all slow thermo puzzles. Luna says clones might be their least favorite constraint. Yeah, clones are but I did have one student set an amazing killer clone puzzle that was just like, I was floored because I'd literally never done a good clone puzzle, including any of the ones that I attempted to use. I think he's Nabnerf. Fun fact, Nabner is the name I made for that constraint. I like Nabner. Nabner's fine. Nabner definitely has the downside to it that it can encourage you to do pretty horrendous things, some of which I've done. Yeah, you can definitely use bad constraints well. It is definitely possible. What makes a constraint good is if it's easy to use well. For example, I have spent a lot of time trying to set a palindrome puzzle that I consider not even good, but like fine, and I've never succeeded in setting a palindrome puzzle that I'd consider fine, and I've never solved a palindrome puzzle that I would really consider fine in any sort of meaningful sense of the word. And palindromes and clones are basically the same constraint, just encouraging you to do it slightly differently. XVs with negative constraint are your least favorite? Oh boy, well, if you watch the Sudoku-vania solve through, you will. If you have not yet, you will get me to see me not loving XD with negative constraint. Yeah, negative XV is pretty nasty. Any global constraint, like it's really hard to have a global constraint be good because global constraints are so oppressive on your skills and ability to sculpt the solve path as a setter. Like anti-king, you can do it. You have a little bit of control. Oh yeah, things that require coloring can be painful if you're colorblind. I would believe that. I hope the Sudoku pad colors do a reasonable job of that. Refractions too. They run away from anti-knight like the plague. Anti-king can be oddly like a little bit gentle, although it still has a lot of like, if you like put it in a computer solver that will tell you what's actually forced, it's very easy even in anti-king to be like, wait, how could this possibly be the case? And then it really just ties your hands, because even if you're a good diligent setter and you don't use the disgusting deductions that the computer tells you could actually make, you still are then strung by the fact that even though this digit now has to be a 2 because of some gross anti-king stuff, and I'm not going to use that, you still can now only put clues in the grid that support someone figuring out that being a 2, and that just makes life harder for someone who's setting. And so like anti-king and anti-knight tend to be that. I'd say I like doing one anti-knight puzzle like every other month or something. I haven't seen Camel in a long while. Yeah, I have also not seen Camel in a long while, although there's the famous Panthera puzzle that Ranks was solving that was amazing. Steer away from pistol. Yeah, I generally steer away from set puzzles. Although, like, sometimes set puzzles are really, really clever, and then it's like, oh, I'm glad I did that, which is how most of the time it shows up. But yeah, the puzzles with Fistamafel ring in the name I tend to avoid. Yeah, lockout lines are very unintuitive, and they're not really that different from between lines, which are much more intuitive. Although between lines would be another constraint that I think has uses, but is one of the ones that was around in the like early days that I think did not age super well for the most part. Although I have been in the process of setting a like 1 to 2 star between lines puzzle that I have like 70% of the way done, and the last 30% taking so long has not made me really want to set yet another between lines puzzle. But I do think between lines play very nicely with other constraints, though. So like I think between lines are a plays nicely with others. Kind of have to rewind after you realize you switched to solving them as between lines by accident. That is so relatable. Look and not say cage. Yeah, the look but don't touch cage. I haven't seen vault in a long time. That was one of the constraints that I actually think vault is pretty cool, but that is one I have not seen done in a long time. And I was really excited when I got to a part in Sudokuvania where it said something about vaults, and actually apparently vault has gone so the way of the dodo that the vaults in that are just not vaults, which I would have thought of as a standard constraint. But what can you do? Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for supporting the stream. Do please give the stream a thumbs up if you have not done so. Vault, sorry, yes, I meant vault. And I'll see you all around real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.